All right, so this is the second video of a three-part series where we'll be talking about how we'll be using Kafka to stream real-time data and how you could use it for any of your projects and how you could integrate it by uh, connecting it to a database. So let's just jump right into uh, the next parts. In the previous video, we talked about using how we'll set up a topic and a cluster on the Confluent Cloud. We saw how we have to write a configuration code to connect the producer and consumer that we'll be talking about in this part, and how we'll be connecting it to our Confluent cluster. So let's not waste any more time. Obviously, in the first part, we discussed the connection that we have to set up uh, to connect our producer consumer for connecting to the Kafka topic. And let's just jump straight to the producer. And in this script, the producer script, it includes, at first, it includes all the essential connection details that we wrote in the configuration. We have to write here as well, the API keys and all the security protocols. We have to follow that. Then uh, we have to specify the Kafka topic we'll be producing data to and read our data set from a CSV using pandas. So in our case, I used the topic name that has been declared as the health data that I used in my project. And you have to pass the data set from which you'll be reading data from. So I had the data set loaded on this directory already, but you can obviously, if you have knowledge of pandas, you can put a URL as well, whatever suits your case. And or the task at hand in the producer script is for us to convert each row into a dictionary and use a unique key and serialize the data into the JSON format before we send it to the Kafka topic. This step will guarantee that all the messages are successfully delivered onto the Kafka topic. And once again, don't forget about these configuration details in the producer code. These are very important and ensure the seamless connection between your Python producer script and your Kafka cluster that's on the Confluent Cloud. Next, jumping on to the consumer code. Now, the consumer is designed to subscribe to a Kafka topic. Again, it's called help data. It has to be the same one that has been declared in the producer. And again, the task is simple. It has to retrieve messages from the producer. The primary task at hand is for us to enter a main loop where the script it continuously polls for new messages from the Kafka topic and prints them. Obviously, the messages have been ingested on by writing a producer that we saw earlier, and we just have to continuously poll for messages. And when a message is received, the consumer will extract the values and print it. So now I'll just show you how we'll be running the producer and the consumer. I'll just side by side demonstrate how this works. So I'll just make it really quick. Consumer, and you'll see why we needed a configuration file. This is where it'll come handy. All right, so now let's just run this real quick. Config. You have to specify the config file that'll connect your producer and consumer to your Kafka topic. So it's the same config file. So let's just run our producer and let's just run our consumer. And you'll see the producer has produced all the data, and now the consumer has retrieved the data from the Kafka topic that must have been put on by the producer, and the consumer has printed all the messages. So you can see this works. Don't worry about the code of the producer consumer. I'll have it on the link in my bio in the description. And look, oh, I refreshed it. But in the earlier video, you must have seen these values were 00. Now these have changed, the producer and the consumer values, the messages. This shows the messages that have been put through onto the topic. These are different values because before recording this video, I ran the consumer code a couple of times, and you can see the messages that have been displayed onto our Kafka topic. Just give it, yes, these are the messages. It obviously is in a key value pair. We've converted into a dictionary and it has all the info. Like in my data set, it was about a health data set that included the data that you get from an Apple Watch. So it has all the user ID, the age of the user, the heartbeat, the blood pressure, the step count, and those sort of things. So this has been produced onto the topic. You can see the produced messages are over 100,000, the consumed are over 3,000. Again, just clarifying, these values will be the same or roughly the same. Just record before recording this video, I ran the producer consumer a couple of times just to make sure. Don't worry about it. And these are the total messages that have been produced and consumed till now in maybe the last hour or so. So this is how we'll be running our producer consumer code. And in the next part, we'll be discussing how we can then use the consume messages that we've retrieved from the Kafka topic and, ingest it onto a database like MongoDB or Databricks. We'll be using Databricks because that's what I'm familiar with. And it's a good tool, Databricks, because it has Apache Spark server already installed on it. So you can, it's a very powerful medium to perform machine learning tasks and anything that's uh, big data, any problem that involves big data. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next vid. And you can still see that the producer and the consumer values are changing. Uh, uh, I'm not sure why, but yeah, this is the producer, and you'll see that the consumer will still be waiting for more values. There you can see it's just waiting. You run the producer again, and then it'll the producer consumer. You can just play around with it. It'll still have more and more values incoming. Again, you can see the values here have changed as well. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys in a bit and take care. Thank you.